Hey, Tobias here, back with more simple ideas for growth. I am here to help you clarify and simplify your business so you can multiply it and you can have the freedom that you want to separate yourself from your company, to live the life you dream of. Why? Because you have a business that works even when you don't. And today I want to talk about one of the most important aspects for growing your business, which is your offering. And here's an idea that will dramatically help you, increase sales and sales conversion. And it's by building what I call a no-brainer offering. A no-brainer offering means, as the name suggests, it's an offering that is so good, so irresistible that people think like, I just have to move forward because I don't even have to think about it, right? I'd be an idiot for not moving forward. And so how do you build one of those? We're going to talk about that. Well, first I want to say, here's a scenario that I see almost all the time. You have two almost identical companies and they're doing pretty much the same thing in the same industry. They're pretty much the same number of leads, and they're pretty much the same in terms of how good they're at closing. But one makes so many more sales. And I've looked at many of companies that are very typically like that, typically professional service companies, because they almost all rely on random referrals and do the same things and pretty much have the same skill level. If you have a no-brainer offer in place, you will typically more than double the sales compared to the one that doesn't. And let me explain. I love talking about this one thing that your whole business is predicated on. You know what that is? It's customer choice. People have to choose you in order for you to generate revenue. And there are only three ways you can generate revenue: the number of customers that buy from you, times how many times they buy, times how much they pay when they buy from you. That's the revenue formula. So for you to build a no-brainer offer, what you need to do is you need to avoid some of the most common mistakes. And we don't have time to go too much into depth into them, but let's say most offerings are way too vague, meaning no one really understands what it is. Many companies define themselves and their offerings through their categories, which is stupid. I'm a lawyer, I'm a brand strategist, or this and that, And secondly, it's way too complex. They don't understand it, and it's too broad. I'm going to give you 5 ideas for incorporating these no-brainer ideas into your offering and to make it a no-brainer. So, number 1, you have to simplify your offering. And when I say simplify, I mean focus and clarify it so that it makes it easier to understand, easier to buy, and easier to sell for you. That's, again, one of the most common problems is offerings are way too complex, they're way too broad, they're vague, they're not differentiated, they're not as relevant. People need to understand why your offering is relevant to them, and by simplifying, you will make that happen. Another way to make your offering a no-brainer is to eliminate the risk. And that is actually the most important one of all. And so when a transaction happens, there's always risk. It's assumed usually by the buyer and sometimes by the seller, or a combination of the two. But typically the buyer takes all the risk. Now ask yourself, what can you do to reverse this situation where you take on all the risk? And that's typically done through guarantees, it could be done through warranties, it could be done in different creative ways where you demonstrate your confidence in your ability to produce a result, so much so that you can give a guarantee and still make it worth it. Number 3, the third way to make your offering a no-brainer is to add scarcity. Scarcity is you're basically playing with the supply and demand function here. So really it's about limiting the supply. And limiting supply is typically done, in luxury, in fashion, and in promotions, just to show that there's a limited amount available, and that typically helps people move over the edge, because a lot of people, a lot of prospects, a lot of your buyers, they're very close to making that decision. But if there's no urgency, if there's no reason why they have to buy now, they usually just linger and they don't buy. So if you can find different ways to just gently push them over the edge, you'll get plenty more sales. Now, the next idea I want to give you is to add urgency. And to add urgency, it's very much what you see with promotions all the time. Like, this price is only available for so and so long. It could be other ways. You just have to brainstorm some ideas for adding more urgency, giving people a reason to act now. Otherwise, they will, miss out on some of the benefits or the price or some bonuses or guarantees. Just have to get creative with these. And so the next idea is to add a little extra value. Now, this could be a bonus. This could be like, if you buy today, if you buy this week, if you move forward now, I'm also going to give you this other thing that I know you're going to need as you progress to the end of this program or this product, when you consume this service, or when we are done working with you, or just give them something a little nice. People are weird in that way. We're all weird in that way, that even sometimes this little thing will nudge people over the edge. And when you give them a little bit of extra value, something they didn't expect, they will move forward. And the last one I want to give you is to add proof. And to add proof just means, let's say you're buying something and you're like a little bit doubtful whether it's going to work out, whether it's going to work for you, whether you can trust the supplier, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes it's just like, hey, look at all these other customers that bought from me and look at how happy they are. So that could be, we could use testimonials to do this. You could also do demonstrations. Sometimes that really show your product just works really well, demonstrate, or give them a free trial, let them try it for themselves. Again, brainstorm different ways to provide proof to remove that anxiety or doubt or worry that they have, and it's all basically removing that risk. And finally, I want to say, us human beings, we are motivated by pain and pleasure. And, pain is really what we want to get out of more than achieving pleasure. And so therefore, think about, that your buyer, your prospect, they have some worry, fear of risk, of cost, of losing out or wasting time. And if you can remove or eliminate that, then you have a no-brainer offering. And a bonus way to do that is to help quantify the savings or the gains that you're providing for people. Quantify, put a number on it. Let's say this thing that you're selling will save them 100 hours of time, or will make them so and so much more money, or save them so much more money. This will help it become so much easier for them to see why your offering is a no-brainer, and they will move forward. If you need help with this, make sure you go to thesimplecompany.com. We are here to help you. We do this all day, every day. We help our clients implement these ideas. And also, if you know somebody else who might benefit from these ideas, please forward the email or send a link. We'd really appreciate that. And if you're here for the first time, just go to thesimplecompany.com/simple ideas and subscribe to 100 simple ideas for free for growing your business. Take care.